So, welcome everyone to our first Learn to Dragon with me, Merrick, and our interviewee Tammy. Hello
Thank
Tammy.
you.
Who are you?
Hi.
What are you doing here?
Uh, um, my name is Tammy. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I've been actively playing D&D, like not D&D. That's a joke. I've been actively playing tabletop RPGs and doing Dragon since the fall, but I've been engaged in role playing as a medium for over 6 years.
Mm,
Um, I'm a current Wayne student, majoring in sociology, with a designated emphasis in race, ethnicity, and immigration. Um, I'm currently in Sparky's Star Trek campaign. I'm running Dune right now.
nice. All right. Um, so you said you were running Dune. Do you have any experience with the system besides what you're doing right now?
I've been in Sparky's Star Trek game since fall, which uses the same system.
Oh, so it's the same
But
system.
Dune, but Dune itself, I've been into the Dune fandom since summer of last year.
Okay. So you have some background in Dune. And the Star Trek system is similar enough to Dunes where you have a baseline. The
100%.
DPS
Yeah.
220. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but
It's
that's not.
it's Modiphius's license system. It's what they use. So I could play a Fallout game, for example.
Oh,
I
really?
could play the Fallout game using Modiphius's book. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, cool. We'll try to get links to all that kind of stuff after the show. That sounds interesting for people to look into. Um, okay.
Yeah. Um, what I recommend is for anyone interested who doesn't want to commit to paying over $50 for the books, download the quick start guides because that has like the quick start guides because that has like basic information about the game about it. It's a less commitment to buying the book itself.
All right. Yeah, so we'll link all that kind of stuff. Um, hopefully, yeah, sometime during or after the show. Um, yeah, that's interesting. I actually didn't know that. Let's see. So, oh, Star Trek has a quick start guide. Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. What was it like? Like, run us through your experience starting a game with Dragon.
I asked you, like, I asked would anyone be interested. First I found out that Dune, because of the movie, marketing and all that, Davies released a book about it. I'm like, holy, this book is really new. But if I can check the publisher information, yeah, this is only like less than 5 years old at this point. So it's released because of the movie, 100%. And so when I found out that like Medipius even had Dune book, Dune game, I was so excited because I felt like perfect bridge of to my to interest.
Mhm.
And so I asked the discussion if anyone would be interested. You said fish for interest, and then post an ad. So I posted an ad, and then I I had enough experience within the collaborative role playing setting to have a general idea of what can go wrong. So I tried everything I possibly could to avoid it going in. You've seen like secret tests, the like all that is to avoid having problems that could be avoidable, not maybe not following the rules. So I just like so, but I was like so shocked how it filled out because I thought Doom was so like niche, but apparently it's really not. I mean, it's been not in touch with particularly people took never failed because like that filled out in like less than a week. I feel like
So it wasn't hard
less
at
than a
all to
week.
find players, huh?
100% no. I was so worried. I was so worried that like so worried that like it would be, but that just turned out to be completely not the case at all. So
That's good to hear. Um,
mhm.
yeah, it seems kind of funny that it would be so quick with like such like an odd system, like or not. Well, I wouldn't call it odd necessarily, but it's not mainstream, definitely.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
and people
Yeah,
just kind of showed up. How many people do you have in your game right now?
I'm currently at 5. Um, my original cap was 6, but like a part dropped out.
Mhm.
Actually, I did like was waiting to put my IA, so they put me in my IA. So I just coded up a lot. So like we're at 5 right now.
Okay, cool. Um, so you've ran a couple sessions now, have you?
Yeah, I wrote up in B week, so it's 2 at this point.
Oh, okay. Um, how did you, let's see, what were some of the steps you took at the start of your game to kind of like make sure the experience was going to be good for everyone? Like kind of session zero kind of stuff.
Session 0. Well, I mainly covered the session 0 stuff in that massive post I made. Massive post I made. Massive like rule making post to be like, this is what I expect, and this is like what I expect. I expect you to have it right back. I'm responsible for your food. I'm
Mhm.
responsible. My only goal job is to give you a good time. That's my job. I'm not responsible for your transportation, for your food, and none of that. Like I'm here to give you a good game because I realistically cannot be asked to write any more than that. And
Mhm.
I also told people to expect a content warning. Like like I told people, like if you don't accept the story, because like Dune has some controversial things, but if you can't accept that,
Mhm.
then I can't run the game without you just generally accepting some controversial things like um concubinage, drugs, eugenics, nuclear war in general, politics, religious fanatism, like sticking with religion.
Yeah.
Um, like if you can't accept those things, I can't run the game. So just please leave. I immediately people leave if you can't accept it because I didn't want to. I've been involved in many roleplay stories to my years of other type of roleplay to know that poor communication can kill.
Mhm.
So I established clear things to the point where our session 0 was mainly just chatting. We just going over the rules and just creating characters in the house. Creating characters.
Yeah. Let's not get too much into the controversial stuff here, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, it is. It's often more important than people realize to have a like real and true session zero and not have too much stuff going on, not like run too much because oftentimes you really need to establish like rules, the rules that you're following as opposed to the normal rules. You can have things like like how you're designing your characters, how you're approaching the world, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's really good that
Yeah.
you did all that. I'm
And
gonna try to yeah.
especially because I'm like Star Trek Adventures. Star Trek Adventures has been out for at least for a couple years. There's a
Mhm.
lot more infrastructure surrounding like creating characters online versus like Dune itself because I couldn't find any resources to create. I couldn't find a Dune version like D&D Beyond, for example.
Yeah.
But so when making characters, we just had to make it. We just had to do it in person. So we sorry. So I'm doing like tiny just stuff. Hold on. Um. So we had to do the things in person, so I didn't have to constantly make fake characters for each different person because that would take too long.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Just 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. Let's see.
Continue.
Load defeats. Huh?
Um. Um. What? Um. What? Can you? Okay. Okay. Can you continue?
Can we continue? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, all right. So yeah, so you ran your session 0. That went pretty well. That sounds good.
Mhm.
Let's see. Kind of blanking. All right. Um, let's see. So we talked about that. Uh, how has your experience with Dragon been generally so far?
Good. Um, it's been good, honestly. It's a lot more inclusive, a lot more inviting than like what people will expect out of this hobby. Because I've definitely experienced like the like a girl, a woman of color, a disabled person. I've definitely experienced that in other like game shops, and I'm glad that
So
this is like I'm glad that this is the place for that. So it's
yeah,
it's it's a positive.
yeah, that's nice. Okay. I swear there was a line of talking here. Okay. Uh, yeah, that's nice. That's great to hear. We do very much focus on inclusivity, and we got lots of different games running constantly. Um, yeah, that's valid. I do think that time has definitely played a factor in the diversity thing. But yeah, we are definitely going to make more efforts to be more inclusive and have like the events and that kind of stuff for more inclusivity. Um, okay. Yeah, so you're running Doom. You did your
Mhm.
session 0. You're running the game. Um, how's it been teaching the rules to your players?
I have Bookmaster, who's in both Star Trek and Doom. He's been a great help because he knows most of the systems. He's able to quickly answer anybody's questions that come up. But I write the rules on the rule system on the whiteboard and a chalkboard, and I just go from there. I actually copied from Sparky because it's the same system. It's the same system. So I just erase the specific terms and I just use that. But I try to I just explain a lot. But like by this point, by this point they know it. What I recently did is I DM'd every single player and I asked them if I were to give you an embodied chip difficulty plus a stand, difficulty level 2, do you do something that means? And they all said yes. So I checked in with each player after a couple sessions to make sure they got it.
Oh, that's good. And it's been going smooth. Is the system very complicated in itself, or is it simpler?
It's not. Um, it's not. This is the universal system that applies to every single company that will give them money. So it's not. It's just two numbers. Roll low. Add two numbers. Add them together. Roll up. Roll than that. Extra. There's a difficulty level. There's a difficulty level. If you get more successes than what's required, you get extra points. There's 100%. You want to roll low? I always make this joke that I wish you not ones or finals, or if you went at 20 and like whatever. So because like it's opposite in the tornado system. So when they
Yeah,
ask you to, it's like a joke I do. Um,
I bet it's jarring going from
I
going from like
yeah.
the nat 20
I mean,
successes to the
I think
nat
it's
1
funny. I think it's
successes.
really funny. I think it's really funny, but yeah, but like this system is in Star Trek. The Dune system because they're crit rangers, which is like other how they're like just different enough to like make sure you have to know each book itself, but like the system's the same.
Yeah. Teaching players is one thing, but I know at least from my experience, going from playing a game to running a game are two entirely different things. How have you been adapting to that?
Um, I well again, I've experience in engaging in like running things because like that's what you do when you really role play. You have to be very I'm a good Sparky knows this, but I'm very like quick to come up with ideas often. So like it's just like fearing how four people can deal with it compared to like how you can deal with it just one person. You know.
Yeah.
So I guess it's more of like a imposter syndrome thing, like a imposter syndrome thing for me personally. For me personally, to be like, I felt like I couldn't do it, but I actually found out I'm actually not bad. I think not. I mean, I check it a lot to my players. Like, are you good? This is good. You like this? And they'll say yeah. So, like, I keep it going. But like, it's generally for me anyway. It's just more of a mental thing than like a anything skill thing, actually.
Yeah. What would you suggest for other people that are looking into running a game but are kind of scared due to the obvious, anxieties?
Oh, just do it. I mean, just do it. I feel like no, you know, I felt like what erased some of that anxiety was having clear expectations. So like it just wouldn't come up in like I just wouldn't come up in like when like the pressure's on, anxiety's on. Because like if so just like the clear expectations really helped me personally because I'd be like, well, because like no one has asked me something I wasn't comfortable with because I've already laid it out.
Mhm.
So communication. I also recommend that you particularly in a licensed game like Dune or Fallout or like the vampire stuff or Star Trek, like just know the world we're at, so you just don't. Cause like, players ask you questions. People ask you so many different things, and like if you can't reliably constantly answer them, you're just gonna feel bad about yourself. I just feel like just knowledge. But once we have that, and it's like so we have expectations, we have the resources, and we have the knowledge, just do it. You know,
Yeah.
just do it.
I, th- I
I
think you
see
brought up
game ads.
something.
I see many.
I think you brought up something
Sorry.
interesting. You said like the knowledge of the system, or like knowledge of the world, right? How
Mm-hmm.
much room do you leave in your game for like the players' inventions and like the things they're going to add to
Oh
this world?
well. Oh, that's interesting. We haven't really gotten to that point, but I will say this: do spoiler alert, and in a massively universe-changing event. I won't say what because but it just completely shatters the normal status quo of this universe. So I said to my players, I can't run this with like continuing towards that. So we're just gonna change. We're just gonna change the world.
Mhm.
So we're just gonna postpone it. You know, like Sparky says that like the canon is really good. The canon is very like the canon set piece.
Mhm.
Canon set piece. So well, I cannot. Let's say, for example, in Dune, computers aren't allowed. So your character cannot have an iPhone. Character cannot have a calculator. But I'm okay with exploring because why not? But like, so yeah.
Nice. I think it's probably a healthy attitude. Uh, for
Mm-hmm.
your, well, not to spoil too much, of course, but for your plans for the game, um, how do I ask this without asking to spoil things? Um, are you planning to follow more of a like very Dune core kind of story, or are you trying to like
Oh,
branch out into other genres or something within this world?
oh. Well, I will say that my players have created a house that is really, really unique,
Mhm.
and so um, I personally think that I mean, there's certain like restrictions of what the universe allows because I can't deviate too strictly or else it's a dude. So like, I feel like I'm okay with like keeping it realistic. You know,
Mhm.
we haven't really gone to that point. We're still very much in the intrigue, the politics, the war type stuff, but
Yes.
of do. But like, I'm okay with it, I guess. If I can make it work with the universe, I can. I'm okay with it.
Nice. All right.
Restrict.
Let's see. So you're doing a lot more of the Dune politics and all that kind of stuff, at least for the first sessions. Um,
Yeah.
how have you how have you been dealing with the NPCs and like running
Oh.
characters?
I'm a role player. I know how to like get into character well because like that's what role playing is. So I just create characters who I think relate to me in some way because that makes it easier to play upon.
Hmm.
I've have a grid stock of NPCs ready, so I'm not have to like scribble on a character sheet quickly before it happens. But I don't know. I kind of have a weird experience because like this is kind of what I'm doing. It's kind of is what I'm doing, but kind of not what I'm doing past 6 years. So it's not that different, I guess. But tips, I guess that um tips, I guess, just connect with your characters. Know your characters well, particularly the major ones. Know who they are and just know who they are.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So so your players aren't really the type, or maybe they are, but well, I'll ask. Uh, are your players the types to run off and do the old find someone random and adopt them kind of thing, or are they more trying to follow your
Um,
story?
but more trying to follow my story. I'm trying to follow my
Okay.
story because I try to like I try to guide them through it. Try to guide. Hey, I would like circle back. I'm like a teacher. Like, let's circle back to like what we're doing because I have kind of bad at improv at the same time. Like I'm good, both good at improv and bad at improv. So if I see they're giving too far, I'll be let's bring it back. Try to so remind them to like bring it back because without preparation, because like that to me equals a bad story because I'm prepared. I
Hmm.
dropped this to give you my job is to give you a good story, and I'm not strong enough. I don't have the skills to like branch off in a completely different direction. Yeah,
I'm not strong enough.
yeah.
Well, what about the dreaded railroading? Oh, a phone call. Ignore. Anyway. Actually, I should. No, I'm not going to interrupt. This is more important. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll go. The original intent was to have some audience participation, but also, yeah. I mean, if you guys want to, say something, absolutely, we'll respond to it. Um, okay. Corralling is good. Not all
Questions
railroading
audience.
is bad. True. We
Yeah.
should question the audience. We should. Good idea. Okay.
Good
Um,
job, Spurgeon.
let's see. Okay, corralling is good. Not all railroading is bad. Um,
This
that
way.
conceptually, what what do you think are the bounds of kind of like corralling in this case? Like, how far would you go like, how far do you go to, keep the story going?
Uh, I think that the story is going in a place where I can't control. Like I feel like I will allow it. It's like a comfort meter. If I go to a certain point, I'll be like, oh, let's circle back. I always try to like bring up this stuff later on, but like I just like I just play by ear.
Does the chat have any railroading stories? Uh, if you wouldn't mind. And while you guys are typing or whatnot, I have a railroading story. um, so this
Because of that, I
quarter,
actually don't have any real life stories. Actually,
yeah, that's good to
yeah,
hear.
because like
Honestly,
my
it,
job is to provide you a good story, and if and like I can't give you a good story if I don't know what the story is going.
yeah.
So
Um, let's see. This last quarter, let's do something earlier, because Actually, you know what? I'm proud of myself. I haven't had to do a lot of the corralling, I suppose, too much. But let's see, during this campaign, we've had some let's see, we've had some like social kind of stuff that I feel like some scenes kind of need to end. I have a little bit of a background in theater, so I do like structure my stories scene by scene kind of when we go through a
Yeah,
game.
yeah, me too.
Generally, I find that the thinking about it like a scene is the best way to keep your players kind of engaged because there's a couple rules for scenes. One is that they gotta know when they're over, and two is that they need to every scene needs to be relevant to push the story forward. And even a small conversation can be very relevant, especially when you're thinking about character stories. But but yeah, sometimes people don't get one or two of the two rules. Um like the infamous now, for me at least, the stair scene that we had, trying to introduce a character. This character didn't have a great reason to join the party, really, but part of it was like a deception. This player wanted to kind of infiltrate the party. Um, yeah, I can do that. We'll do that in a moment. Okay. So trying to infiltrate the party, kind of, right? And they had information to, get into the party because I gave it to them during character creation because I wanted it to go smoothly, right? So the concept was he, stands in front of them on the stairs, proposes to them, they accept the offer, and then we move on. That was the idea. 30 minutes of just back and forth, like, oh, hey, what do you want to do? Oh, well, I have this stuff for you guys. It's like, oh, really? I'm not going to give it to you. Oh, really? Why should we take you in? Because I'm powerful. And like it just kept going kind of back and forth like that, where no one was giving even the attempts to move the scene forward were kind of being like shunted or otherwise like pushed down in favor of more like arguing, which was not great. Um, that's the first time I've ever had to say out loud, actually, you have X number of minutes. If you do not continue the scene or end the scene within X number of minutes, I am moving the scene forward. And that's like very painful for me. I did not want to do that. And there were more like precautions I probably should have taken or whatnot, but it's hard to know beforehand sometimes. Um,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, sometimes you just have to because like 20 to 30 minutes of just like sitting around on a pointless scene that wasn't supposed to take this long. It's like it's just gonna
I
harm the like
yeah.
the players.
I currently use the free act system. So it provides a bit more like flexibility in like the scene system, but like so like I just have this stuff that's gonna happen in the first scene. I just have that always have the first scene, second scene, then third scene, so we can really explore. But I also I also use something called the yes and rule, which I'm sure you know as a theater person, where it's like you say yes, but you expand.
Hmm.
So I think that provides um improv. So I really don't have any growing stories. Growing story could always be like,
Yeah.
let's circle back. What's that? I because yeah.
Let's get to, or at least in the chat, in the campaign that I'm playing right now, I have streamer mode enabled, so I can't read the username. But R in the campaign that I'm playing right now, they pulled the immoral card and enslaved a gnome worker lady, which led to a huge plotline later. See, that's what's good. The yes and kind of concepts of like
Yeah.
where you have something happen. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't plan for that. That's not what was supposed to happen. But then when you have something as huge as like there's a character that's now trapped with the party, or like usually characters have families or allegiances or like any kind of thing you can make up on the spot. So oftentimes they end in like interesting kind of solutions. But of course, the one big like don't do this is going to be probably don't like pretty much telling your players flat out no in a tabletop role playing
Mhm.
game
Yeah.
for
Oh my god.
most
Yeah.
things is going to be like the biggest no in terms of like railroading and corralling or whatever, because the whole point is that they're telling the story with you, even if they blow themselves
Mhm.
up or whatever. If they're that insistent on killing their character or derailing some plotline stuff, um the pretty much like if you have to say no, usually you should follow it up with like an ejection from the table. Like it has to be that serious, because the things that can be done that would like incite this kind of like hard no for a lot of different things are usually like pretty bad. And yeah, an occasional no is different from like okay, I kind of think of no in two different ways. There's like I fly, I'm gonna fly right now. No, you can't. Your character can't do that. Or like, oh, I'm gonna go do this. Usually there's like a kind of reason that you could say no that's not just like, oh, I want to do this thing. Like especially if it's like more of a reasonable thing as opposed to I'm gonna go find the magic shop in this store or in this town. There is no magic
Mhm.
shop. I'm gonna find it anyways. Like that doesn't work, obviously. But like really serious kind of no's are few and far between. And if you're just going around telling
It ta-
everybody no all the time, that's bad.
it takes flexibility.
Yeah.
It takes judgment.
They enslaved a rat afterwards. Oh my god. Okay. I'll read these out loud. That's fine. They enslaved a rat afterwards as a token to barter with a god, and my DM, Jacob, he goes by Arch in his Discord, went around and kept track of his livelihood and health and stuff. He ended up getting an infection, which led one of the characters to shoot him point blank. Oh my god.
Mhm.
This was a rat? Which started a PC fight. Oh, a rat man. Okay. Oh my god. He had grandchildren?
Grandkids, my god.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Oh, you want to talk about PvP? How are you thinking about PvP, even if it hasn't happened yet? What are your thoughts?
Um, I think that dudes are by houses, right? Will have allegiance to each other, so it will take something pretty shattering to like have them to fight. So I personally haven't thought much about it because my players have a general understanding. Players have a general understanding that like we're all in this together.
Yeah.
It's like it's like if we're all on the same team, and they all have loyalty to at least their leader. It's
Mhm.
not gonna fight if they're not gonna probably not gonna fight. So I really haven't like thought of that much because like that's not something. It's something that's a bit out
Yeah.
there in this type of story.
Yeah,
But
that's absolutely fair.
I'm sure I'm sure I might have to deal with it someday. But like I just haven't thought
Oh
about it
yeah,
as much,
absolutely.
honestly.
Oh my god. And then that does kind of open up the PvP situation in terms of like the conversation about it. I know that Sean has a lot of good insights on PvP. He actually has a YouTube channel, which I didn't realize until recently, which is kind of funny. So a lot of his stuff,
Yeah,
he's already like scripted out and he has all these like diagrams and all this kind of stuff. That's for Pathfinder, but a lot of the same things can be applied to many different tabletop role playing games.
yeah,
Um, and one that I find interesting is his concept of certain actions that a player takes that's not specifically like pulling a gun on another player being PvP. Like, a funny example is one time my dad's game, one of his players had a keg of gunpowder on the pirate ship that they were on, and then within one turn told everyone, jump, and then blew up the whole ship. That is
hmm
essentially PvP. He allowed it to happen, but like at the end of the day, a lot of this kind of stuff can be, like, even if it's not direct, um, causing the death of another character actively due to your own like decision making, or like the other big one that's usually cited a lot is running into the middle of the town and just like killing a random peasant for no
yeah.
reason. Because now everyone's upset. Like your party members are probably upset with you. the town's gonna be upset with you unless there's a really good reason to be doing that kind of stuff. It's just gonna lead to like this giant like chaos. So a lot of DMs
Yeah.
or GMs will just say no. And I think that is a pretty good case for saying no to a PvP. Um, my games are a hard no for player versus player like combats because I generally because it's never like a division in the team or whatever. It's usually like one person has decided they're gonna be like a dick or whatever. They're gonna do something, and so everyone wants to beat them up. And in that case, I just say, look, man, we're not role playing this. We're not going to roll it out because I don't want to spend like, 10, 20 minutes in the long D&D combat for you to just get beat up and then waste time. So I'm just going to cut to you being tied up or killed and then we'll continue the story. Like that's how I usually handle it. And then people calm down really quickly. So
Mhm.
so yeah, because I'm not even going to give them a chance. Like, come on. Especially like we're on like a ship in space. There's nowhere to go. Like you can't just run away. Like you if you pick a fight, then you're probably gonna die. Um, but
Luckily,
yeah,
uh, the D&D, not D&D, the 2D20 system, it's just the same as Star Trek. It's a big thing that the characters are reasonable adults, and they know the reasons, and they know, and they have to have a reason on why they're doing something. So, like,
yeah,
if you're, because like your characters are not allowed to, that's how the system is like created. It's just like the characters are not allowed to make random decisions because like all they have to be mindful
hmm,
they have to be mindful, which I feel like it's a bit weird coming from like these crazy stories because like I feel like that these it's a bit weird because like the D20 system really emphasizes that the characters are rational, they're reasonable adults who
yeah,
who have a good reason for doing something. I feel like so you have to make your case to me on why your character should be able to do this. Actually, it's not just I accept it. You have to like
yeah. That's true, huh?
yeah you have to convince me that like why your character should do this and why your character because like because like yeah
Yeah. Going to the comments for or not the comments, the chat. Chat. Hey chat, how's it going? The chat for a moment. Um, player playing Winston from Overwatch placed a fallen tree on a bridge, and given he was the strongest character in the party, he broke it with an ice sword. Two ogres came out, one of them crying that someone's broke his tree. Yeah, one of them crying that someone broke his tree. During the fight, he rolled a crit, and I had him slice the ogre in two. It was a fun moment. That sounds fun. Um, was that an attempt at like corralling the players because it was a difficult fight or something, or is that more of just a like a funny thing that happened? I'm okay with either. Um, And then back on like the conversation topic, it really does depend on the vibe of the game. I agree with that too. Like, and also with that in mind, the original concept of alignment in D&D was for these kinds of things. Like, would your character blow up that orphanage? Would the lawful good paladin blow up the orphanage? No, the lawful good paladin would not blow up your orphanage. So, like, oftentimes, it's not as much used anymore, at least in fifth edition, like the concept of alignment. But that was like a
of
big
course.
reason why that was a thing for a while. And in like a darker campaign, or like an evil campaign, you could say, um, things like PvP become a lot more like realistic because you have, when it's dark campaign, it's really easy to imply that actions have consequences. Um, and like death is something that is very real and very impactful and can hurt their characters. And they think just playing like a fun fantasy game and stuff, but if you have a darker campaign, you can have them like one of the characters just died, everyone deal with it. Like, you guys made a bad decision, or maybe a
I
good
feel
decision that
like
went bad.
personally the 2D20 system there this currency the DMs do game after is called threat. That's a good punishment So I haven't personally done this, but like, haven't done this yet, but like, if I can, a consequence can be like, I make the game more challenging for you. Because that's legitimately what it's for. It's a currency for, it's a currency to keep that, make the game dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that could possibly be something. I don't know. But going back to your discussion about changing the story of its canon story, this book for some reason is very movie heavy, based
Mm-hmm.
on the movie. The Dune books and the new movie that's by Denis Villeneuve, there's some changes to the characters in the story based on the two versions, and so because of that, this new character, this character in this book, Paul,
Mm-hmm.
is missing a big portion of personality. To the point where like, I don't like it, so I'm adding it in. So this is an example of me just changing the story to make it
Yeah.
that I wanted to be without changing the DNA of it.
Oh yeah.
I think we can move on if you want to move on. Feel like I don't know.
But yeah, no, I get
I
that
don't know.
idea. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're going through chat a little bit here, and then we'll see what's going on after that. Yeah, the concept of consequences. Yeah, hardest battle a DM or GM will ever face. Um, I find that alignment is used to justify anything and everything. That is a that is definitely a statement that I will definitely agree with. Uh, it's interesting because from my
Mm-hmm.
perspective, I've seen alignment used really well, and I've seen it used like really not well. Um, yeah, horror stories definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Is there alignment type thing in the Dune system or the myth or whatever?
Not really. There's things called values, and
Oh,
there's
okay.
things called folk, and there's thing called yeah, I don't know the correct term, but there's things called um drives. And
Mhm.
these act as your character drive statements, those values. That's what your character believes in and stuff like that. So it's not really quite an alignment, like I'm good all the time, I'm evil all the time,
Mhm.
because characters like Harkonnens would be very ugh. So
Yeah.
like this story is very neutral in terms of like evil, or in terms of like evil and good. So just this more emphasis is on what character believes in, right?
Yeah.
What character
Yeah.
believes in. It's a lot more intuitive, right? It's like what character
Mhm.
believes in, not just like if they're evil or not,
Yeah.
pretty much.
They tried adding that into fifth
But like
edition as well, but I like that a
they
lot
place natural
actually.
constraints in your character. They
Yeah.
place natural constraints in your character.
Yeah, and it's not.
Yeah.
Can you share some examples
Right.
for us of like values that
Yeah.
some of your characters have or that some of the players have?
Um I can I don't okay, yeah. Give me a second. Wait a second.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Sparky. Oh man. I just realized I'm gonna have to make a YouTube channel or something if I'm gonna post this. Oh well, we'll figure that out.
Um I have to show the similarities between Star Trek system in the Dune system. I'll say one from my Star Trek character and one from my Dune NPC.
Okay.
Um, Duke Tobias, he's the Duke of the House, says that has a very high duty score and very high power because like he's meant to rule. It's the
Mhm.
whole powers like powers like I'm the special one for power,
Mhm.
stuff like that. Um Ferengis. I love it's working. Um before Rhiannon, which is a Star Trek character, a human. Wow. Damn.
Never would have
Um
guessed.
yeah.
Oh man.
The Star
Okay.
Trek character, she has a very strong presence skill because and very strong and one of her values is empathy because she's a doctor.
Mhm.
She's a doctor. She cares much about caring for patient care,
Yeah.
and so it's very unlikely for her. For I can't have her kill someone,
Oh yeah,
right?
because it goes against her code,
I
huh?
can't. I can't have her, my doctor character. I can't have her stab someone or like hurt someone because I'm very doctorly. It's not very doctorly of her. It's not very. It doesn't align what she believes in. Now
Mhm.
there are times where, as a character, you can change your value scores. You mess with that. That's called interpretation, which is a very different thing.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I'm not gonna. Generally speaking, these places that this doctor in Star Trek's character being a doctor and being a doctor and being very patient oriented. It's not gonna that's like keeping her from like you know hurting someone.
Oh yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
that constraint for a character. That's constraint because there's actual constraints. What am I saying? Like her like her she isn't like necessarily to be evil or good,
Mhm.
but she had to be a doctor. But she had to be patient care, to be empathetic, responsible, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So does that make
Yeah.
sense?
That does. I think that makes sense. To go into the chat for a moment. Um, one from the. I was actually here for some of this. At least one of the sessions. Uh, the value. This business isn't for the fragile. Used by said NPC to justify sexism. Gross. I agree. Mentored by a PC and changed his mind. That is a great concept as well. I really like is having, you can have like these values and that kind of stuff, but they can still change. These are still people
Mm-hmm.
where, alignment is not
Yeah,
something that usually changes. At least not
that is
while
something that's
maintaining sanity.
emphasized in the 2D drawing system, 100%.
Yeah. And like the values kind of thing is great. Mentored by a PC and changed his mind. Yes, that's great. Um, yeah, so definitely keep that in mind, especially even if you aren't doing like one of the more story focused tabletop role playing games, because D&D is trying, but it's really not there. A lot of these other ones
Uh-huh.
are a lot better for this kind of storytelling stuff. But even if you are playing D&D or something else that doesn't have as much focus, you can still definitely use some of these as like stepping stones for like improving
Mm-hmm.
your life or keeping things a little bit easier for yourself on the storytelling standpoint.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, DMing for kids. Oh my gosh. No, I have little siblings, so yeah, I've I've experienced it. It's really something. Let's see. Kids make great players. That is a opinion. I think in a lot of cases kids have a lot of things about them that make them like really easy to like play with. Because you oftentimes kids are told all day like, oh, don't do this, don't do that. So if you tell a kid like, hey, you have a cool guy, he makes pizza, he's gonna fight some stuff, and then boom, they can go and like they'll
Mm-hmm.
fight stuff, they'll explore. They're not gonna run off and do like sometimes they'll be like, oh, I want to do this random thing, but they're not gonna be like other. like adults or whatever with ideas of what they want like the story to be and the character to be because they're just having fun. Um, but yeah, Scooby Doo Xenomorph is really something that that's a combination of words. That's so cool. Okay. Uh, yeah, power fantasies. Blah. Uh, are just a
Bye,
power
Baba.
fantasy.
Thank you.
Oh, bye, Bubba. Bye, Bubba. 'Twas fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jumping around too much. Okay.
Bye,
Interesting.
Malix. Have a nice day.
Bye bye. Or Malix, yeah, sure. Let's see. Yeah, we're probably gonna start wrapping up unless you guys want to chat for a bit longer. Let's see. Okay. Talking points, talking points. Min-maxing
Well, didn't we say
and
like? Didn't we say 9:30 the late 8:30 the latest?
yeah, I'm totally chill with staying on. Oh, a couple questions.
Sparky, what's
Okay,
up?
absolutely. Yeah, we can do that. Before we
Sparky.
answer those though, let's get to the chat stuff real quick. Or so like just for a moment. So yeah, values, min-maxing. I do want to ask you about min-maxing. Or like the concept of
What is
players
that?
that so okay.
What do you...
For we'll get to those questions in just a second. We'll make this quick. Okay. Um, so for your players, I bet they probably haven't because this is Dune. This is more like story focus and stuff. Also, I don't know if this system really is all about that, but the concept of min maxing or otherwise building a character specifically to have be the most powerful it can possibly be, as opposed to any
Oh,
other reason, is prevalent in like D&D and
yeah.
Pathfinder and things like that. Um, Another definition is optimizing, like Sparky's saying, or like optimizing and exploiting is like a big one, to where you have like loopholes in the rules and stuff. Um, I mean, how would your system deal with those kinds of players? Because I bet it has something for that.
We can't actually because there's limits to. I mean, like loopholes can be found in like anything. So I'm not I personally have encountered it, but like loopholes can be found in anything. But
Mhm.
let me see. What
Because
does
I
that
know
mean
that
stat
system is
numbers?
a lot different. Like even if you're optimized for combat or whatever, you're probably not going to have a great time the rest of the game.
Yeah, you know. Um, Bears.
But yeah, this leads pretty
Um,
nicely into the next
I'm looking right
questions.
now. I'm looking right now. I'll answer it later. I'll answer it later. I'm like looking right now.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's
I
fine. We
mean,
might have a
you can
yeah.
have a character specialize in a certain thing, but they can't be
Mhm.
good in everything.
Yeah, okay.
Like two characters that are good at fighting in my first game. Two characters very good at diplomacy. So it's not really because there's only um because there's like certain numbers, skill ratings, school
Mhm.
ratings that school numbers, and each number implies a certain level of proficiency.
Mhm.
So like the highest number is like the highest number means they're expert on this, and lowest numbers are going to be bad at this.
Yeah.
But you have to, but you have to. I see it. The primary skill, what's your archetype, is rated at 6.
Mhm.
The secondary skill type is rated at 5. Other three skills are at 4. So 4 is the lowest you can go. 6 the highest. But like, but you can only have one 6. You have three
Mhm.
fours in like 1 5, for example.
Okay.
And you can't, like Spark is saying, is that you can't have a character be good at everything
Mhm.
because like that's what we'll say. You can have a
Yeah.
character be good at like one thing, but like not everything per se. So min maxing in terms of like to be good at everything is not allowed. Min maxing in terms of like being good at one thing is like is a lot. Like I have characters who are fighters, who's a diplomat, and that's
Yeah.
okay. But like, he can't. But like the diplomat character can't be good at fighting, and the can't be good at fighting, and the fighter character can't be good at can't be strong and not good at strong and talking diplomacy.
Yeah.
So there's safeguards against it. But in terms of like loopholes and stuff, exploitation, I feel like that's in every system. Like nothing's foolproof.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
foolproof, foolproof,
Hmm.
foolproof. Does that make sense?
I think that makes sense. Yes. Adequately explained. Very nice. So yeah, that's nice to hear. Yeah, that's not D&D, but that's okay. We have a couple questions from Sparky. How do you approach combat encounters slash how do you design them? And before you start answering, sorry guys, I know that it was originally supposed to be an encounter design thing, but you know topics change and whatnot. Apparently, Sean still has a presentation, so we'll do the encounter design one soon. But yeah, you can still answer this question.
Um, I try to get off the characters. Dune is all about politics and diplomacy. Typically, like it's not about war too, but like more about like diplomacy and trying to use spies and stuff like that. It's always give them a chance to like talk.
Mhm.
Please talk about it because combat in Dune is defined. Combat in Dune can be defined by like fighting. Can be
Yeah.
fight. It can be even by spying.
Yeah.
Spying is a form of combat in this game because of how the politics is. So I feel like that for strictly fighting encounters, I always give the characters a chance to talk each other out, roll some charisma checks, as I say it. Um, or like just try to use diplomacy, even blackmail them to like get them off the trail.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't I don't try to straight go to fighting because like Dune is all about using and manipulating people just to do it to like suit your own needs. You know.
Creative solutions. Very nice. But yeah, that's yeah, definitely different from a lot of other systems. But it makes sense, like, in the world, especially in the world of Dune specifically. Like you said. But yeah, okay. Is there any other questions up in here? Um, all right. So yeah, I can talk on my combat encounter design, which I should be doing right now actually, but that's okay. I still haven't prepared for the game tomorrow.
How do you
Uh,
approach combat counter creation? Hmm.
I think that's supposed to be combat
Um,
encounter creation. Yeah, that's what I thought.
encounter creation. Okay. Encounter creation. I give the people. I give the person a motivation. Motivations are important in the judicial system. So always try to give them. No one's. No one in the system is trying to kill someone for the heck of it. There's always motivation. There's always motivation.
Hmm.
Just feel like I feel like just motivation, thinking about why they want to do something is very important.
Yeah.
Why? So the character says why. Why I want to do something. Is it to gain power? Is it to gain spice? Is it to gain money? Is it to gain favors? Is it to gain? Is it to? Is it to gain? Is it to gain positions? It's to
Hmm.
gain. I feel like it's like knowing the reason why. Because even hating someone is like reason enough is a reason enough for motivation. You know.
Yeah.
So I just feel like keep in mind the reason why something is happening is very important.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and then from there it just kind of cascades. So you're focusing a lot more on the characters and why they would be fighting as opposed to monster.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's why I told you like I'm not sure I'm not sure what person do this because like I'm not like creating this weird I'm not there's no monster book in my arsenal. It's like so like I'm not really concerned about like to see who they're fighting, but like why they're fighting and stuff
Yeah.
like that because
No monster manual. I have two in here in this bag. It's like, wait, where is
Hmm.
it? Here it is. For reference, if those who are unaware, um, the Dune system. It has a name. I'm sorry. I should figure that out. Or more Phidias. No monster manual. Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Large monster manual. Very large. There's lots of creatures and demons and weird stuff and all that. But yeah, that is, it's a difference between the systems, right? Like, for that kind of system, combats and stuff can be interesting, but like, it's more about at least for Dune, it's more about the diplomacy kind of stuff, like, it's more important, so that's what's focused on. D&D, 5th edition, it's going on for a while now. Um, and originally it was just basically just combat. So that's why you have these stat blocks. Look at that.
Um,
Even if I don't use most
I'll
of the
give
creatures in
you
this book.
I'll give you an example. I'm not sure if you can see this, but Star Trek has three systems of combat, all very different.
Mhm.
The forms of combat are dueling or Dune, espionage, spying on people, um,
Espionage is a combat.
warfare, yeah, warfare and warfare. So on Star Trek terms, the dueling would be personal, social would be espionage, Star Trek would be warfare, you
Yeah.
know. But there's actually no, there's actually no, um, there's actually no, um, like monster sheets in Dune. There's one character sheet because there's one character sheet to making how does I have to use the same character sheet because there's different ones actually
Mhm.
because because like you design your encounter the same way as your characters because that's what they are at its whole.
That
So
is interesting. I like that.
mhm.
Yeah, because if you have a group of people that each have a different specialization, they can each shine at a different point in time in like the different scenes or the different parts of the campaign, which makes a lot of sense. I like that actually. As opposed to, of course, spellcasters that just win no matter what the situation is. D&D.
Yeah, I personally just bring it up. Oh, okay.
I hate spellcasting. I've noticed. Oh my gosh. Oh man. No, I hate it too. Unless the reason that I like spellcasting sometimes is you have someone who doesn't know how to do it, then it's fun. Because all of a sudden it's like, wow, other people can play the game. This is so cool. But yeah, obviously flawed system if
Okay,
that's the
I'll give you an
best
example.
situation.
I'll give you an example right here. This is an assassin. This is an assassin. Um, this is the assassin character sheet. This character who generally considered evil,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I could have been pinning you the whole time. Okay, I should have done that. Oh well.
but look at this. I can flip it. This character is the wonderful and great Paul Lando Atreides, who's like the head. He's just the hero of the house, which is like debatable, but that's okay.
Mhm.
This is his character sheet. They're
Yeah.
they're the exact same format
Yeah.
because fun fact. Anything else?
Anything else? Oh, I was gonna comment on Sparky's spellcasting rules. Oh my gosh. I like rank for them, roll to explode. Yeah, that's always been an interesting well, no, because I guess I won't say names here, but um, if you know Ombrick, we're pretty good buddies
Mhm.
now, and he constantly talks about your spellcasting rules and stuff. Oh my god. Oh, funny stories, funny interactions and stuff. I think it's interesting that you did kind of incorporate the 2D20 model. Oh yeah, no, all the stories are true. No, oh god. Yeah, no, it's no, it cracks me up every time. But yeah. No, it's funny. And you haven't had to really worry about balancing stuff, have you, too much? Like you just started.
Balancing what way?
Like, like characters and encounters. Like, have you had a
Oh.
situation where you were like, oh, this is a little bit too difficult for them right now, or something like that?
No, because actually, fun fact, the book, this book goes into that, something called fret.
Hmm.
Now, basically, the more powerful your house is, the more dangerous the game can be.
Yeah.
And so my players decided from the get-go, like how they chose to do about things, they wanted a small house. So the added difficulty levels are a little low. So the characters decided, actually. So I
Oh,
haven't really
that's
decided.
really cool. That's
Yeah.
fun. So yeah, so they can't
Yeah.
really. I mean, that makes sense in real life. That's cool. Because if you're just a small fry like house or whatever, no one's who's gonna send a giant warship to attack you?
Yeah,
It
right.
doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
100%.
No, that's
But
cool.
but I play Fred a little. This is my example. An example of me being a game master. I still assign them Fred. I still assign them Fred, even on paper according to the system. They they shouldn't have any
Mhm.
because the circumstances have given them where they would probably have some because Fred means more people want to kill them
Mhm.
or when people want to see them. Like it's more, I don't know, more bad juju applied to their situation than like a typical
Yeah,
smaller house. But
yeah,
like
that
they
makes
chose
sense.
it.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
shaking hornets' nests and whatnot.
So yeah, shaking hornets. That's yeah. That's a good
That is a
way
good
to
way.
make it
Yeah.
potential consequence for reaction. Yeah, just that. So like if you want a big house, you can like have how old threat you want. Be small house, go for it, actually.
Yeah.
It's per player, actually. It's per player.
Oh,
So like
really?
I, yeah. Um like a um a I flipped to it. A nascent house. The game master has a pull point called threat, which
Mhm.
they can use to create all manner of problems and difficulties to layer characters. How much threat the game master gains each session of the game depends on what type of house players are chosen or are retained for the course of play. Sparky, that's wrong. That only applies to Star Trek, not this. Nascent house, no starting threat. Small house. Like like the and like the stronger house is, the more threat is given, actually.
Yeah. And
So
of course they're going to be
Sparky, you're
different
wrong.
for them. Oh, come on,
Yeah.
don't give him a hard time. He's not playing Dune. Anywho.
Yeah.
That does sound interesting.
But yeah, but Sparky's right. It's the case for Star Trek.
It's interesting having like threat levels like that. Usually, it sounds like a nice tool for like game masters to kind of like manage players basically. Like, if everyone's messing around the whole time, like, I could just throw like a banded, attack or whatever,
Yeah,
where someone's
100%.
upset,
Like
but like,
I and also the players can spend threat, can buy threat too to gain
hmm,
advantages. So like this isn't purely. So the players can always make the game more difficult if shit like shit they choose. It's not control.
yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, threat systems, combat systems, so fun. I was thinking of introducing something like that into my game around inspiration, but it's just really hard. Like, I don't know. It's hard to balance that kind of stuff. I should probably read one of these books from this system. It looks interesting.
I have a PDF copy if you want it.
Yeah, I might just take a look. I was reading like fourth edition and stuff too, just trying to find like ways to
Um,
balance that kind of stuff. But it's just I dabble in the home brewing. I recommend that newer GMs try to like stay off it. Like just
yeah,
like
I've been.
keep it like low. You can still do it if you don't like something, but it's just a
Yeah,
little bit.
I personally. Yep, thought about homebrewing before I found out this. I was like, really want to do in story, so I figured if I could just homebrew it, but like I didn't really like this game at all. So like, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's great. It's great to have
Oh.
like a system like 2D20 that's very like because Vidipius legitimately just throws his system onto any onto any company will pay them. You know, so it has to be
Yeah.
adaptable, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So
That's interesting. Okay, the concept of writing Ghibli-esque campaign. Actually, okay, I can probably comment on this. You might be able to too. Um, more broadly. Also, we didn't define homebrewing. Homebrewing is when you put your own stuff that you make up yourself into a game system that already exists, generally. That includes
mm-hmm.
both like settings, characters, um, or not. Oh, sometimes the game systems allow you to just put characters in. That's usually not homebrewing necessarily, but changing rules is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely homebrewing. Um, Now, the concept of a Ghibli-esque campaign, or writing a campaign around like the vibe of a franchise or an art style or something like that. I know I already asked you like whether or not you were doing like a Dune-esque campaign, like a very like genre specific. Um but have you thought about you've done
Um,
RP, you've done RP. Have you thought about like
yeah.
how would you adapt a an art style or something into a like a game system?
I don't know because I'm a very visual person. So my RPs always have a massive book of face claims and like reference photos. I use face claims. Spurkit face claims my character actually, Banana. But I try to use like face claims a lot, and I try to like be very deliberate to like get people to know. Spurkit does it too, where he shows like pictures of like the Star Trek's looking at the star bases,
Yeah.
stuff like that, just to encourage to have people know what you're looking for. Um, so I just have feel like you have to do a lot more researching to control that message in their heads,
Yeah.
pretty much. But
That's definitely good. Getting
mhm,
the what they're called reference photos, reference concepts,
face
ideas,
claims,
face claims,
face
yeah.
claims, face claims.
Um yeah, because I never heard the term face claims until you just said it. So,
Yeah, it's more like the like the little RP side. You'll
yeah,
get
yeah.
face claims on like Tumblr or something like that or Wattpad. You'll get like massive reference photos, reference banks for like models or actors and stuff like that. But I must advise that I must heavily encourage use people use photos of people who are in the public eye, right? Otherwise, because like that implies like I have a character in my RP right now who's based off a model named Lactate Model because that model agreed to have his picture out in the world to let people use how they wish. So I feel like I feel like if I use a random person off the street, that's not very. Or even if I use a picture of a random person that I found on Google, it's not very
Yeah,
like I don't I can't be 100% sure that person consented to having their photo be used or something like this.
the ethics
So
of
I
face
implore
framing.
you, if you're using face flames, to find people, use people, or within the public eye. Not like not children, but like actors, models, musicians, stuff like that. So to avoid shady shit.
Yeah.
That's what I use because there's a lot of discourse within the RP community about using face flames,
Mhm.
actually. So that's my way of like kind of going around that is to use
Yeah.
people in public eye.
Yeah,
There's a lot of like
absolutely.
controversy around it, actually.
Um, Going more towards to answer the question of potato R person. Um, yeah, homebrewing is real. RPXP. For D&D, if you're doing 5th edition, which is very interesting for a Ghibli kind of campaign, you're gonna have to do a lot of reworking. Um, I think that
Mm,
the milestone XP system is gonna be your best bet, like 100%. Um, Giving XP for role playing is so hard. It's so difficult. It's because what you have to do is you essentially have to prescribe encounters to like a role-playing situation, which it can be easier done in other systems, but in this system it's like so yeah, so it's more so like
yeah,
once you get to a certain place, level up. Like that just it works a lot better. It's even the XP system. Actually, fun fact about D&D XP. Originally it was based off of gold that you acquired. So you didn't actually have to kill anything to get XP. All you had to do was get gold. So if you ran like a business, you could level up basically. Um, but it's hard to level up as a fighter with a business. But like looted from dungeons and whatnot, you could use gold to level up basically. Um, which is great, I think. But yeah, now it's like monster fighting, which is like, oh yeah, what is ACOFAF? Let's see. But yeah, definitely references are good. But don't go referencing random person in the dining commons or whatever. That's messed
yeah,
up.
100%.
But
Speaking
yeah.
of that, 2D20 uses a system known as determination, where it's like if you challenge one of your like if you role play basically, if you role play your characters, you role play it well, and if you have opportunity to gain special point, and that can be Sparky turns into a claim. Sparky turns into a claim in a way because Sparky uses it for other things, but there's a way to do something similar in 2D20. But Star Trek's based on like the Navy, like military shit. There's already a pretty hierarchical system in place with it. So yeah, I should stop talking.
Mhm. Oh, don't worry about it. You're here to talk. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, roleplay your values intensely to use determination. That's a good way to think about it too, honestly. For even inspiration for my D&D folks in the crowd. Like having someone have a value and then like fight for it is very like encouraging that
100%.
is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, use inspiration legitimately. Like that's the best way I think to like giving people roles or um yeah, over rewarding people for role play.
Mhm.
Yep, you kind of like you got to manage it.
Um.
You do have to manage it.
Yeah. I will say for determination, each character starts with one, but like I think that like Spark, you have to back me up on this, but character starts off with one, and you I think you lose one like after each session of like at the, like, so if you gain another, and like if you don't use it by the end of your by the end of the session, it just goes away. So that it's a way to place limits. It's a way to place limits. I feel like. So my answer to that, Rakoy, is just to place limits.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Trek. It's the same thing. Use it or lose it. Reset to 1 minute session. Same thing.
Yeah, do that
Same
for
thing.
inspiration. I do that for inspiration. You can only have one, because I think in D&D you only have like one. Um, and then, if you don't use it, you're not going to gain any more. So probably easier.
Yeah. There's also the counterpoint to fret is a thing called momentum, which is used when the characters either roll really well, or poorly in your case, or um, or impress me, or impress me. So if I have a character who I think really, 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 really cool, or they're doing really good, I can role play. I can like reward them for one time. There's only 6 at a time, and and some of them go away after each scene. So it places limits, right? Puts limits. Puts limits.
Yeah, limits are good. Necessary, one could say. I don't know. Also, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Like,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
you're not gonna, especially if you do something crazy homebrew or you're trying to like design basically a whole
Yeah.
new system. It's like you're probably not gonna get it right the first session. Don't be afraid to change things. Just be clear about it. Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna be changing
In
rules
my
often,
first session, I I was really high to what the book said because I'm actually not my first like 2 sessions were actually I wasn't doing the character I wrote, I was doing the pre-built one in the book because I felt like it'd be easier on my end. But what ended up happening was I ended up being too I ended up following the book too harshly and under the point I had to retcon some things, but like it doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
But like that's okay, I guess. I mean, by the second session, I was actually pretty good at it. I was actually so like role playing, DMing a skill, and like I can definitely. I'm not saying that I'm like amazing at it now. I'm saying that like I definitely feel a lot better at it than like I did my first session.
Yeah,
I did it.
yeah, and that's really important to remember as maybe a new GM or even an old GM is that like sometimes things don't work out and then you just gotta keep moving forward or change it or whatever. But just
Mm-hmm.
if it doesn't feel right, you have every right to change it as a game master. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, keep that in mind. We got a couple more minutes, so get in your last thoughts and whatnot. This has been very fun. I cannot wait for the next one. Feels like it's been like no time at all.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Bye,
so yeah,
Sparky.
bye Sparky.
I'll see you
This was
tomorrow.
fun.
See you tomorrow. And I'll send you a photo soon of this. The hairstyle.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
No problem.
No, this was a lot of fun. I can't wait to do it again. Definitely next time we're focusing a lot more on like, or not a lot more, but doing some chat integration kind of stuff. I think that was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Rodden's hair. Oh my god, Rodden.
Uh,
She's a bitch. um, I will say thank you for this. Thanks for this. I had fun. I feel
oh,
like
that's cool. I'm
I
so
had
glad
fun. I mean, I
because this
actually try
was
to like participate as much as I can in things, but like this is still a bit hard for me, honestly. But like it's fun.
oh cool. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, you guys are too nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for joining the club. Oh my gosh, I try so hard. Anyway, but no, this is such a cluster truck trying to put this together, and it worked out quite well actually. I must say so myself. Um, and yeah,
Yeah.
more we do
I'm
this kind of
actually
stuff.
loving it. I really enjoyed the work you guys put on.
Thank you so much.
Like I can definitely see your passion.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, for
Mhm.
another audience. don't be afraid to like brag about your DM experience on a resume, because like this actually is experience, real life experience for like a job and shit. Don't be afraid
Yeah.
because it's fun. I mean, you just have to sell it well. You just have to sell it well,
Mhm.
and if you can do that, put it on.
Yeah. All right. I haven't eaten yet, so
Oh
oh man.
no,
I think
I
it's
actually
about
ate
time.
before. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
It's